ProPublica has been able to acquire some audio from a meeting between a group of lawmakers and an anti-abortion group where they broach some of their prospective next steps when it comes to fighting back against abortion rights and related rights. Take a look at this.
And maybe your caucus gets to a point next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, where you do want to talk about IVF and how to regulate it in a more ethical way or deal with some of the contraceptive issues. But I don't think that that's the conversation that you need to have now. I would not recommend having it now in the context of your current pro-life law.
So take a look at that. Take a look at how simultaneously radical and cowardly and dishonest that is. These anti-abortion radicals are like, oh, so we've been going around and saying that we're like totally not gonna come after IVF or whatever, but we totally wanna do that. And you should totally do that, but not right now. Don't do it right now. People are a little bit spooked right now. We're gonna strip those rights away, but let's not do it right now because we know that people don't like that. We know they don't agree with us. We know that we're radicals outside of the mainstream. We still wanna strip those rights away because we don't care about democracy. We don't care what people think about this, but let's be very hesitant right now. It's just so underhanded, Mondale.
It is. This is what, what is. I think McConnell said this out loud earlier. Like they're gonna go for the full ban of everything related to a woman's right? And I think this is absolutely disgusting. And Steve Billy looks like a person that would be leading this effort to lie about what the end goal is. We should never take anything pertaining to Roe v. Wade and what they're saying immediately on face value. We know that they've been fighting this. This has been their fight since Roe passed. And there's been entire colleges built, Liberty University, on this lie. And I think we should be extremely, extremely, extremely cautious and attentive to what this effort is and where it's gonna lead. We are in serious trouble right now because what we do know about these Republicans is that they are usually 10 years ahead of us. This is why we're in this gerrymandering district problem right now, that we're fighting things that they did 10 years ago and still not making up gains.
Yeah. And remember, by the way, as this video comes out, we were told that you guys are being alarmist earlier this year. Why are you talking about them coming for these other things? They're not gonna do that. They're gonna be totally satisfied. Once they get rid of Roe v. Wade, that's all they want. They'll never go further than that. Why are you trying to scare people with the stuff that they're actually talking to lawmakers about? IVF, and by the way, emergency contraception. Because never forget that while these people are obsessed with these topics, they don't understand even the most basic facts about how any of this works. They're not abortions. It should be perfectly acceptable if they were, but that's not actually what they are. They don't know, and of course they're not satisfied. Look, I'm sure there are some religious conservatives that honestly just have been convinced that abortion is the most important thing in the world. But for others, this is a tool to use to win office. That's all it is. And they will strip whatever rights they need to away to get their base fired up. And for others, they're just reproductive Karens. That's all it is. They don't like the idea that other people have bodies and use them, that they exercise autonomy over them. And so every right they strip away, they're gonna look for some other way that they can get involved in your lives and in your choices. And so I'll remind you, and I sometimes I gloss over things on the show and I apologize for that, but this is IVF. So this is how couples that are having trouble reproducing get assistance. We're told constantly by the Republicans that we're not having enough kids, and the subtext is often that white people aren't having enough kids, but whatever, they want more kids. The sperm count is going down. We were talking about that on the show yesterday, but let's get rid of the thing that will actually help these couples to reproduce. That is how insanely radical these people are. And look, I think it's great that we're seeing this because I think they are gonna be savvy enough to at least hold off for a little bit. I think some have learned the lesson that going so hard against abortion hurt them in the midterms. That's not enough to stop them from trying to outlaw it. So I think they're gonna be pushing for this stuff, but I don't think they're gonna be making a big deal out of it vocally. I think they're just going to go to state legislators and try to get the stuff passed without making a huge deal out of it. And that's potentially even more dangerous. Any other thoughts, Mondale?
Just that, I would be remiss if I didn't remind people when I hear "Make America Great Again," and then I also see this stance on anti-abortion. It always forces me to go back to when it was 1840 when it was stigma free to have an abortion. Women basically had there was no stigma around women having abortions in 1840. So when I hear "Make America Great Again" coupled with this anti-abortion rhetoric, I'm thinking these people want to go back to when I was a slave, or at least my ancestors were, and there was nothing great about that. This backward, regressive thinking about anybody's right, but for white people, specifically white men like John. I'm a little nervous. Not John himself, but white guys that look like John.
I understand the concern.
I hope you do, John, because we're laughing and joking, but this is a serious thing that we're coupling greatness in America with this type of, and anti-abortion is just one of their. It's just one of their things. There's so many more regressive ideas that these people would be happy with. The idea that we talk about borders, the way we talk about our borders as if we're not a nation of immigrants, the way that we talk about the poor as if we're not the people who fed or try to feed everybody during the Great Depression. So I think that we have this historical absentness in the way that we cover policies when we're repeating or combating Republican talking points, and it leaves us dumber as an entire country.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I mean, my hope would be that people will learn a little bit about the actual science of this. If for some reason they think that this is something we should be debating after literally decades, I would hope that our representatives would have a little bit of the knowledge of what this actually entails in terms of the science. But at least for right now, I feel confident that this is not a position that people are going to agree with them on. So we need to make sure that we stay vigilant. That does not mean they're going to be going for these rights. We need to make sure that our defense is just as vigilant. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.